And shall I say...
You start with your name and where you're from.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
That's the initial thing.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Father Christophe. So, I live in the UK currently. I'm parish priest in Cockfosters, North London. But I was born in France, in Brittany, in France. And I'm going to share with you part of my story because this place has been so important to me. The Lord has blessed me here, and I will share that with you in a few minutes. So basically what happened that I grew up in a Catholic family, and my parents, that's interesting, they met in a charismatic prayer group in the 70s. Even my dad was a shepherd of a prayer group. And so they met there, they got married, and I was born in 1980, so you know my age now. And I grew up as Catholic, and I went to Mass and so on, till and prayer group. So faith has been very part of my life. Saying grace before meal, praying together with my family. We even had a prayer room in my house, which was a bit strange for my friends. They, well, what's wrong with you, mate? But anyway, it was part of my life, so I never doubted that. And I just went with the flow. And when I reached, when I was 10 or 11 years old, I was altar server, but at one point I was bored and I decided to try to trick my father. And so once I went to him and I said, listen, Father, next year I'm going to secondary school. And I think I will be too busy with my homework, so I won't be able to attend church anymore. And I was expecting him to tell me, listen, you have no choice, you're 11 years old, and you just come with us, and that's it, full stop. I was expecting this answer, but actually his answer was even better. He said, that's up to you, my son. So he let me free. My parents let me free. And I stopped going to church, just maybe for Easter or for Christmas, things like that, with my family. But I never doubted God. God was there, a bit, like in the clouds somewhere. And I remember I used to pray a bit when I was in need of prayers, when I need something. I say, oh, please, God, maybe say in my bed by myself, the Our Father. So God was there, but he was doing his business, minding his own business, and I was minding my own business. And it was okay. I can't say that I had a bad childhood. I had a really good childhood. I have been blessed with my family, my parents, and my sisters. I have three younger sisters. And so it has been my life like that till 16 years old, 17 years old, where I started to go out and I was a bit like a rebel. Did kind of few things. Didn't want to listen to my parents anymore, so I was starting to go out. I had a good friends going out, and teenagehood. So it means that in France, in Brittany, everyone on those days, I don't know if it has changed, but starting drinking a bit, smoking weed, hashish a bit, and so on. It was great. I love this time. And I've done had my A level, and I've done a business school. And what happened that it was many parties, many things, and it was a great time. I had girlfriends as well, and really enjoyed this time. But at one point, what happened is that I was empty. It was like, wow, what's going on? What is the purpose of life? So now I'm like 21, 22 actually. I was doing a business school in Nantes, nearby Brittany. And I went first to Ireland. I had a work placement in Ireland, in Youghal, nearby Cork. And it was working in a tourist office over there. And it was a bit boring, to be fair. I hope no Irish people will be there, or no one I was working with will listen to that. But it was a bit boring. It was, it was doing photocopies, coffee, and so on. It was really basic stuff. But I had to do something for my degree. And I had an argument with my boss over there, and I told her after 1 month, I was supposed to stay 3 months there, And I had an argument. I said, okay, that's over. I stop. I want to take advantage of being in Ireland and to discover a bit more Ireland. So what I did, I said, I told her that I stopped, full stop. And she told me that if you do that, I won't sign your paperwork for your exams. I said, okay, that's fine, that's fair. And I left. And I took time to discover a bit Ireland. And I'm saying that because it has been part of my conversion. So I did like hitchhiking from Cork to Galway, to Connemara, and hitchhiking in bus, and were sleeping in student hostels. And once when I was walking, I saw a statue of Our Lady of Medjugorje, actually. And I stayed there. I looked. It was on the road, like in a cave. Just a statue and some prayers underneath. And I saw this statue. And I was by myself, don't forget. When you're by yourself, you're a bit like, wow, more open to God, I guess, or to yourself. And this statue was like not speaking to me, but something happened there. And I said, oh, what about God? So I started a journey there, and not much, but I guess I said a prayer there. So Medjugorje was already there. A few weeks later, I was in Dublin, and I was drinking with some friends, and we started a conversation about faith. Even if I was not praying really or going to Mass anymore at all, they were challenging my Christian faith, and I had to stand my ground for that. And I was not expecting this. It surprised me, actually. And I said, actually, I do believe in God. I do believe in God. So, that's 22 years old, started to think of life, think of faith, and so on. Long story short, went back to France and finished my studies. And at this stage, it was a few months after Ireland, I felt down. I felt like, wow, a bit depressed, a bit like, what's going on? Is it my life? Going out with my friends, good friends. I still have my friends. They came for my ordination. I'm still in contact, in touch with them. But is it my life doing that? I was supposed to work in a bank, getting a bit of money, even not a lot of money. I was really basic. And having parties, getting married, maybe at one point, buying a house, a car. It felt very narrow to me. Nothing wrong with that. Many people do that, and that's fine. But to me, it was like, wow. Went back to church once when my parents came to Medjugorje. My parents were here, actually. And I know they were praying for me. And the same day they were here, on Sunday, I went back to this small church in Brittany, nearby Quimperlé, Redene. I sat at the back of the church, and what the priest said during his homily, I can't tell you what he said, but pow! Really touched my heart. And I knew that God was alive, and God loves me. Changed my life. So my parents came back, and my mother knew that I was struggling with many things, and she gave me a tape, tape from Sister Emmanuel from Medjugorje, from Beatitudes. And the title of this tape was A Mother to Heal from Emptiness. Something like that. So it's in French. And I said, okay, I was a bit proud. I'm still a bit, but I was like, okay, we'll see that later. And the same evening, I listened to this tape, which was speaking about Our Lady here and the 5 stones and what's going on here in Medjugorje. And for me, it was like, wow, crazy. What's going on? It was like, couldn't understand. And so I started to read a bit of Medjugorje. My parents, they had books. It was not the first time they knew the place. They have been coming here for a long time. They were here in September. Last September, they were here, actually. And started to go back to church, started to pray my rosary a bit. So I had to learn. I was like a baby. I knew nothing. I had to learn. And I learned my faith. I've learned my faith. I've learned to pray through Medjugorje and through Our Lady, through the books of, especially books of Sister Emmanuel. Starting to read the Bible a bit. my old Bible because I did in France we had first Holy Communion and second Communion as well before confirmation. So I've done that, but I didn't want to be confirmed because on those days I challenged my parents when I was 15 years old and I said, no way, I don't believe, I don't want to do that. It was more to upset them that because I didn't believe. It was just to upset. I didn't do my confirmation. But I had this Bible, these Gospels, New Testament from my first Holy Communion or second Communion. So I took it for a strange reason. It was always there somewhere. I never read it, but it was somewhere. So I took it back and started to read a bit. And it gave me peace and joy. But it was strange. I was like a bit schizophrenic because I still went out with my friends, smoking a bit in the evening, and drinking a bit or whatever. And in the morning, praying and going to Mass, till reaching the point where I was going to Mass once a day. Because I couldn't sleep anymore. I was really like a spiritual fight. There's someone who didn't want me to go through this path. So spiritual path, spiritual fight. At one point I thought I got crazy. I couldn't sleep. And at one point I remember my mom, she took my blood pressure and I was like 160. And after that I was 110. It was like, what's going on? Anyway, started to go to Mass, started to pray, and I had to leave my environment. I had to leave my friends. I had to leave my family. So because I needed a fresh. I was not good. I was really down. So I had to leave, and I went to Reunion Island. That's a small French island nearby Mauritius, in the Indian Ocean. So I left there, and I left Brittany, I left France, and I went to live over there and to work over there. But just before that, I want to tell you that my first confession, I went to a place called Landévennec in France, in Brittany, for my first confession. I took 3 days out just before going there to Reunion Island. And when I asked to see a priest, I've never been to confession ever, asked to see a priest, a monk, and when I entered into his office, it was like, my shoulders were physically heavy, like super heavy. And I couldn't stay there. It was too much. I nearly left the place. And I said to the father, Father, I can't. It's too heavy. I can't. And the fact that I said that, removed something from my shoulders. I spent 1 hour with this priest. I can't tell you what I told him, but 1 hour. I was crying all the tears of my body. A real confession. First confession ever. When he absolved me of my sins, I was like, a new man, a fresh man. Changed my life. Confession, daily Eucharist, prayer. Started to fast as well. I was much better on those days, actually, than I am now. But that's good for me to be back here because I have to make an effort on this aspect. And reading my Bible. So it has been part of my life since then. I tried really to follow the 5 stones of Medjugorje. I went to Reunion Island. I was 23 years old. I met over there, cut long story short, but I met young people who were faithful and happy and proud of their faith. And that's not the young people I met in France. In France, Catholicism is a bit, my experience was really down. No young people, a bit boring, Over there, I met people praising, worshiping the Lord. It was, wow, great, good friends. And by the way, I met the Chemin Neuf community, which has become my community. So Chemin Neuf community was born in 1973 in France. That's a charismatic community. Like the Beatitudes, they know each other. They were born the same time in France. And our 2 roots, 2 legs are charismatic renewal. And our founder, Father Laurent Fabre, is a Jesuit. So Saint Ignatius is very important to us. And the exercises of Saint Ignatius, super important. And at the same time, charismatic renewal. Chemin Neuf community. I met some young people there. And I went to Mauritius to do a retreat, retreat for young people. We call that Jericho. And I saw a priest. I spoke to the priest, and I share with him my life, and he encouraged me to go back to France, to Metropole, and to do a formation with the community in Haute-Combe Abbey, nearby Lyon in France. I did that, and cut a long story short, starting a journey with the community. So it was like 1 year after that, I stayed 1 year in this abbey, like a formation, Bible studies, community life, prayer, community prayer, some works, and so on, community life basically. And after 1 year, I had to decide, am I going to stay with this community? Or am I going to leave the community and to follow you, Jesus, somewhere else? So I had a question. And to me, the only one answer was that I have to go to Medjugorje. Medjugorje was the beginning of my faith journey, kind of true faith journey. And I wanted to ask to the Lord what he wanted me to do. So I went, I came here with some friends of mine, a friend called Lidvin, and other friends from France, Paris, where I was living on those days. And I came here. I did my pilgrimage. I did everything. I forgot, actually, it was a long time ago. It was in 2005, so 18 years ago now. And I just went with the flow and offered my prayers and this question: shall I stay with the Shaman of Community, Lord, or you want me to follow you in another way? Both were possible. I had also the question of priesthood, because since my conversion, I had this question of priesthood, but sometimes I wanted to become a priest, but 2 minutes later, I was in love with all the women I saw, so it was a bit like, wow, struggling. But when I came here, it was really about the community. And I did my pilgrimage, and when I went back to Paris, I was praying my rosary in a bed, I remember. And once again, like the first time, a peace, joy, certainty. The Lord wanted me to become a priest. So I think 2005, never doubted that. Changed completely my life. Doesn't mean that I didn't have struggles. I still have struggles in many things, many ways, but the calling of the Lord was there. And it was not like, an email or a text message. It was really gentle, peaceful, certainty. I was called to become a priest. So I shared that with my superiors, and they calmed me down, say, okay, listen, take your time, we will see. But 6 months later, I did another retreat, and they said, okay, if you want to still commit to celibacy for the first time, you can do that at Christmas. So Christmas 2005, I made my first vows: chastity, obedience, and poverty. It was Christmas 2005. And after that, I've done studies. I went to Congo, DRC, to Africa for a few years. I've done my studies over there, worked with young people. And finally, I arrived in the UK 8 years ago as a deacon, went back to France to be ordained priest, and became an assistant priest and parish priest of Christ the King Cockfosters, North London. Been there for 8 years now. And that's why I'm here today, because we are 35 of us as a parish pilgrimage. And that's my story.
It's very good, yeah, great. I was just going to say, oh no, I've forgotten what I was going to ask you. Oh, for goodness sakes. So only 2 times you've been here before. This is your second time?
Second time.
Wow.
But it has been part of my life.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to come here to experience it.
I know what I was going to ask you, is how important do you think the messages of Our Lady is in this time in the world as it is? Do you have anything to say about that?
What is the last, this message is pray, pray, pray.
It's a time of prayer, just pray.
It's a time.
One sentence.
Yeah, I know.
This is the time of prayer, pray.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a time, yeah, something.
Yeah, like 41 years of messages, but the last one was one sentence.
Yeah, this
one. Compressed all the messages together.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't followed the messages much more since then.
Okay, but you know the basic ones. Do you want to say anything about that, or you know the state of the world?
Yeah.
And our lady's been appearing here so long.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay.
But you really did a great job tonight. Wow.
Okay, I can say something. So with what I've just shared to you, you understand that this place is so important. And the funny thing, it's just my second time actually. First time was 18 years ago. But you don't have to come to Medjugorje to experience the messages that we receive from the Virgin Mary, our mother. She has been on my path all the time. Sometimes I pray the rosary. Sometimes I stopped until I was more like in a praise and worship or Ignatian way of prayer or many things. But the messages we have received, especially at the beginning when I was reading, I was thirsty for all messages from Medjugorje at the beginning of my faith journey, really helped me. And I think it still helped the world. The last one we received, like in March, pray, pray, pray. The only one thing, just one sentence, prayer is important. She didn't greet us. She didn't say thank you. She just pray, pray, pray. And I heard that the last time she said that, it was before the war. So we don't understand. Don't want to afraid to scare us. But I think we have to take our messages seriously. The world is a bad state, I would say. We have many occasions to see evil on earth around us. But the good news is Jesus is alive. And we have weapons now. I can see for my parish, the parish of Christ the King Cockfosters, coming here, the fruit and the conversions I've started to see. And one thing for me is very, very important, that's this confession, adoration, which is the main part here, Medjugorje, to adore our Savior, Lord, and Master, our God, Jesus Christ, the risen Lord, and also to be in truth with Him. And the truth will set us free. And confession is one of the most important gifts we have received from her, to remind us how important it is. And conversion is possible. We can change, not by our own strength, but the Lord helps us to change. To be honest, I went to confession this morning, and it was like a general confession. I won't enter into all details, but it's not because you're a priest that you're perfect, not at all. Still a sinner even more than others. However, for all of us Christians, when we go to confession with a true heart and with the desire and asking the grace of the Lord to change bad habits, behaviors, He gives us the strength and the grace. But that's not one for all. That's like in the Our Father, give us our daily bread. Not give me the bread I need for this month or this year, but give me my daily bread. Give us our daily bread for today. It means that every single day I have to start again with the rosary, prayer, with reading the Bible, with going to Mass as much as I can, confession, and fasting on Wednesdays and Fridays. To be fair with you, I don't do it. I will try to do it now. I see my life. I'm invited all the time. I have meetings. I'm here and there, traveling the world a bit as well. Not easy, but I do believe, and the priest told me this morning, try what you can, but try to make efforts. So message is important, and really I will keep you in my prayers that all of us together, when we are together and praying together and following these messages together, there's an impact. Prayer is efficient. There's an impact in the world, and all of us together can make things change. Amen.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Amen.
Very, very well done. I think you're going to be surprised when you hear that.
Why?
Because it was so fluent. It was really good. It was really good.
Thank you very much. That's it.